couple of months ago, my husband decided to tell me that he wasn't happy anymore. That didn't make him happy. And I was a bit like, yeah, we can work this out, it'll be fine. And then it came to, I made him feel unseen and unheard, and I made him a sub-character in our life together. Mate, I'm a sub-character in our life. We've got 4 children. They're the main characters. That's just the way it is. So anyway, last night I've done the begging again. It's about the 5th time I've done it. And asked him to choose between me and her, and he chose her. So, you know, can't get more clearer than that.
Her husband felt unseen and expressed himself, but her response was likely one of the reasons he packed his things and left. She told him there was nothing she could do because their children were the main characters, meaning everyone else, including him, came second. At that point, he realized nothing was going to change anytime soon, so he packed his bag and left. He likely wasn't willing to remain in a relationship where he felt invisible, despite being the one taking care of everyone. What made the situation even more interesting was that she later begged him to come back, but he refused.
Yo, so here's the thing. My husband works 2 jobs, and he works 64 hours a week. Has like 1 day off. And within that 1 day, I want him to go outside with us, like me, Sophie, and him, and I want us to have a family day. But he wants to stay home and spend time with us. But I don't want that. I want us to be outside. And I'm upset with him because we don't go outside and do activities as a family. Am I being reasonable, or am I being a bad wife?
She doesn't truly understand what it means to be with someone who pays for everything. You can't have it all. At some point, she'll have to decide. You either have someone who covers all the expenses but has limited free time, or someone to share the bills with and has more time to spend with the family. She needs a job, period. I would never ever let my husband work 2 jobs. We both work, but he's still the provider in our household. Provider doesn't mean he has to pay for 100% of everything. Someone told her to get a job to lighten his load, and she just said no. I don't think a lot of women realize what being with a provider man entails. It's like this sometimes. Sometimes it's lonely. My husband is determined to not let work consume him and fights exhaustion. I feel like us women just complain. I'm talking about myself too. Either you want him to pay for everything or you're going 50-50. Literally, shut up. They want a man who has bread and a lot of free time, acting like money just grows on trees. Being a provider man is a thankless job. We don't know their personal circumstances because she didn't share much about them. But based on the hours he's working, it appears she is a stay-at-home wife. And if that's the case, she should be grateful that her husband has put himself in this position to maintain their household. She should understand that going out is likely the last thing anyone working 2 jobs and putting in that many hours each week would want to do on their day off. That time is meant for rest and recharging for the upcoming week, something she needs to take into consideration. I believe she's upset with him for no real reason. If he had wanted to spend his day off at a bar with friends or doing something similar, that would be a different story. But he planned to spend time with his family in a way that still allowed him to rest. Yet somehow, she doesn't understand his reasoning. She has found herself a provider, someone who is willing to sacrifice for his family. But instead of appreciating all that he's already doing, she wants more from him. Based on her video, it seems she feels he isn't doing enough simply because he isn't taking them out. At this point, I think getting a job would solve most of their issues. It would help her understand where he's coming from and would also give him more free time.
My name's Caroline. A couple of months ago, my husband decided to tell me that he wasn't happy anymore. That didn't make him happy. And I was a bit like, yeah, we can work this out, it'll be fine. And then it came to, I made him feel unseen and unheard, and I made him a sub-character in our life together. Mate, I'm a sub-character in our life. We've got 4 children. They're the main characters. That's just the way it is.
Then she got upset when he decided to pack his things and leave. She likely expected him to be the main provider, but she didn't use the same energy when it comes to how she treated him. In that department, he was placed in second or third position. What many people don't realize is that when a man reaches the point of verbalizing his feelings, it usually means he's nearing his breaking point. And that's exactly what happened. Maybe they would still be together if she had truly listened to what he was trying to express. All he needed was a bit more attention. But unfortunately, she didn't see it that way. In the end, she left him with two choices: deal with being overlooked or walk away. And we all know how that story ended.
But I thought, we had quite a healthy bedroom. Obviously not enough. I've got 4 children and I work, and I'm knackered. So I thought I was doing quite well in the bedroom, but obviously not enough. So,
based on what she chose to focus on, it seems she tried to rely on that alone to keep her husband. She assumed that since things were going well in that area, there was no need to do more. He already had enough. But her experience proved otherwise. Most men need much more than just a good time in the bedroom to feel truly fulfilled in a relationship, and that's something she just learned. She still has a lot to learn when it comes to understanding what we truly need in a relationship.
Yeah, he told me that. And then I find out that he's, after he moved out, apparently, he's seeing someone else. Oh, it happened so quickly, didn't it? So quickly. So you're telling me there was no conversation, there was no, you might not have had no physical intimacy with her, but there was definitely emotional intimacy with her. And things got really nasty, really quick.
He was probably looking for someone who would make him feel like the main character, and it seems he found that person. As she mentioned, it happened rather quickly. This is yet another example of why staying in a relationship where your energy isn't being reciprocated is a waste of time. There is always someone else out there willing to offer what you're looking for, just as it happened in his case. It's clear she got comfortable and assumed he didn't have many options, but he proved her wrong. Another woman was right there, ready and willing to take her spot.
Yeah, it's just been really fucking hard. He's used my mental health against me. Granted, I put all his fishing gear, which was about 10 grand, out on the drive and told him to pick it up, knowing that he was in London with that. And it went missing, but, it was on my private drive, and just so he didn't pick it up in time, so ain't my problem.
So she knew he was out of town and still chose to leave his $10,000 worth of fishing gear on the driveway. And now it's gone. The ironic part is that she tells herself it was stolen because he didn't pick it up in time, even though she knew he couldn't have as he wasn't around. Did you notice her facial expression when she talked about it? There was a clear look of regret on her face. It was obvious she knew that wasn't the right thing to do.
But, we live and learn. So anyway, last night I've done the begging again. It's about the 5th time I've done it. Should have got the hint the first time, shouldn't I? But no. Got no self-respect at that point. So done the begging again. And asked him to choose between me and her, and he chose her. So, can't get more clearer than that.
I'm genuinely confused. Did she really expect him to leave the woman who's likely making him feel like the main character, just to go back to her, knowing he'd be in second or even third place again? Why would he do that? The guy is probably happy in his new relationship, so he has no valid reason to end it and return to someone he wasn't happy with. Someone he opened up to, who told him to just deal with it because that's how it is. What made it even more surprising was when she told him to choose between her and the other woman. Did she honestly think he'd choose her? I really don't understand her logic. He already knows what to expect in a relationship with her, and that's exactly why he left. He wasn't fulfilled, so why would he leave someone new who might actually meet his needs, just to return to someone who chose to ignore his feelings?
Should have said that from the start, but you can't get more clear than that. So yeah, after probably about 2 hours sleep, my son's really poorly at the moment, I've kind of woken up with a bit of a clearer picture of what my life is now, and he's not in it. He's in the kids' lives, but he's not in my life, and that is the end of my marriage. So,
hands down, favorite part about being divorced? There is never an angry man inside my house. Never. I never wake up to a grumpy man in my house. I never come home to an angry man in my house. There are just no angry men in this house. And I'm never giving that up.
I know everyone heard what she just said, but she shouldn't stop there. No one reaches that kind of mental state without a reason, and that's just reality. We need more context to better understand why her husband was unhappy in the relationship. A lot of people make videos like this, trying to paint a certain image of their ex without offering the details we need to fully grasp where the real issues came from. Was she a perfect wife, and he magically became an angry man? The truth is, every action triggers a reaction to some extent. So what did she do or say that led him to that point? That's the question most people are really curious about. I assume she didn't meet or marry an angry man. So what changed? What happened during their marriage that caused him to become someone different from the man he once was? That's what she should be talking about, and honestly, it would probably be a lot more insightful and compelling. As a man, I can say with confidence that just as she's glad he's no longer there, he's likely feeling the exact same way. He's on the other side now, experiencing that same sense of relief,